Why are service businesses, which are often called boring businesses in today's world, great businesses to start? And first of all, as Booking Koala CEO and co-founder, I will never ever push somebody and tell them that this is the best business you can get into. I want to clear that up because our agenda should be that, right? It's much more beneficial for us to tell you, hey, this is the best business in the world, started, because then you join Booking Koala and we benefit from it, right? And I'm bringing this up because I go on social media and this is one thing that drives me crazy. I see a lot of people posting something that, hey, this is the best business. The other businesses are no good. You should only be in this business. Why? Because they're making thousands of dollars. If they sell you consulting, web development, whatever it may be, it somehow fits their agenda. They make a lot of money off of you and they will be only teaching you and pitching you that specific business and that specific business model. But the truth is, I've started a lot of different businesses, but I have not started every single business in the world, right? So how can I tell you this business is better than that business if I have not been in those businesses, right? So I will never do that. But in this video, I will go ahead and try to focus on 4 things and maybe give you a little bit of a story why I think service businesses are great businesses, especially if you are a beginner and you don't have a lot of money to start, okay? So number 1, it does not take a lot of experience to get into this industry. I started when I was 19 years old and, I learned as much as I could to become successful, okay? So if someone that's 19-year-old can do it, and doesn't have a lot of money, connections, experience, things like that, that means anybody can do it. And if you compare something like Booking Koala, which is a software, which is the product that we've developed here, that takes so much more experience. I truly believe that Booking Koala would have been as successful as it is today, or maybe wouldn't even be successful if I didn't get into the first business and went straight to the second business, right? For me, it's actually been like the 5th businesses because I've done different businesses in between as well. But I think since it doesn't take a lot of experience, you gain a lot of experience through the first business, which later you can use for whatever businesses you're starting later on, which is nice, okay? And I do believe one thing about, starting small is you start to build confidence, which could be another reason why it's a good business. So we could put it in there. It builds confidence, okay? Because it's one thing when you start to see small progress versus when you don't see progress for 2 years. Most people, if they don't see progress for 2 years, they're going to quit. Just imagine working so hard, which I've done before, and you don't see any progress for 2 years, especially if you're in need of money and things like that, you're most likely going to quit. But if you start on an easier business and then you start to see progress where you have 2 clients, then next month maybe you have 5, then maybe you got a big jump and you have 20 and then 50. When you start to see progress like that, it makes things so much easier on you. It pushes you to keep on growing. And there's just so much benefits from that, right? So I think we'll put that as a second point, and it's a big one. You gain confidence by seeing progress, right? Number 3, I would say service businesses do not require a lot of capital to start. I started my home cleaning company for $6,000, which was a combined investment between my best friend from high school, my partner. So I put in 3 and he put in 3, but you could do it for much less. We've done it for different reasons why we put so much. Plus we didn't have a lot of experience or anybody to guide us. So we paid a little extra, but today you could literally start this business under $1,000, easy. Whether you're doing it yourself, doing the jobs like cleaning or mowing a lawn, you could do it yourself, or you could outsource to somebody else and get them the job, give them a cut, and they go out and perform the job. It does not cost a lot of money. So that's number 3. It will not cost a lot of money to start a service business. So if you have less than $1,000, I would say even if you have less than $500, it is more than enough to start these businesses, okay? So that's something that's really neat. 4, we'll probably go with experience for the person doing the job. So the first one was experience of the owner building this business. Number 4 will be experience in someone that's going out and performing the work, which also can be you, or if you're outsourcing it to somebody else, it could be them. So if we're outsourcing, you could find, for example, in the poop scooping industry, someone that goes out and picks up poop scooping or poop from an animal, from a dog or cat. It does not take them a lot of experience to do that. Almost anybody can do that, right? Same thing with home cleaning. It does not take too much experience to clean a home. A little bit more than picking up poop, but it's still something that most people can learn and become good skilled workers at, right? Now, if you compare something like development, where you're developing software or you're building a car, it takes a lot more effort, a lot more training to do things like that. So I think number 4, that skill of performing the work, there's a lot more people available that you can find, or even train yourself if you want to perform the jobs yourself, to do these jobs, right? Which is real nice. And that's actually something that you guys should think about when you're picking an industry. We talked about in a different video, pros and cons. One pro that you should look for is find an industry that maybe has a very big pool of workers available, right? Like poop scooping, if you get into that, you could hire anybody to do this, right? Which means, and we'll talk about this in a different video as well, but hiring, I think, is number 1 in the service business. The better quality providers that you guys have, the easier it's going to be to retain clients, grow clients, and scale your business. So it all starts from hiring. And the bigger pool of people that you have to pick from when you're hiring makes the job a lot easier. So if you find an industry that, everybody could become that person that you can hire, it makes it easier. And poop scooping is one example. I know mobile car washing is another. You could literally have anybody to perform that job and clean a car. I used to do it when I was, in high school. It was easy. The only thing you have to really know is what product is best for what, but that's very simple to learn. And you have a whole pool of people that you could hire, right? So number 4 is that. Number 5, disruption of this industry. It's going to take a long time for a robot to take over these industries, right? I don't see it happening anytime soon. And before it even does, these robots will be expensive, and most customers will not be able to afford these robots. So it will be probably, beneficial for a business to buy these robots, and you could leverage those robots to help. Maybe you'll get rid of some employees at that point, or you'll just have the robot come with an employee to perform maybe 25% of the work, and it will just be helpful. So number 5, disruption of the industry, I think is going to take a long time before that happens. And also, I want you guys to keep in mind what we talked about in point number 4. Again, keep in mind pros and cons of number 5. So when you're thinking about picking an industry, think of something along the lines, if you want to be in business for 20 years, what's the industry that I don't think is going to be taken over by a robot for a very long time? I personally don't think home cleaning is going to be taken over by a robot for a very, very long time, because today, when you look at the Roombas and the vacuum cleaners that do the work themselves, those aren't even working properly. So how can you get somebody to even clean the entire home properly as a robot? And before that even happens, you would probably, as a business, buy the robot, which would benefit the business because they will be expensive when they come out. So I think home cleaning is one of them. So look at pros of the industries, what you think will not be disrupted for a long time, and get into that. That could be a big pro. So that's 5 points. And I'll add another 6th point before we end this video, which is the growth of all these industries. Home cleaning, lawn care, window cleaning, poop scooping, car washing, all of that stuff is growing. Every single year, all of that is growing. It has been growing, it will be growing, and it's projected to keep on growing, those industries. And all the service industries, maybe could be 1 or 2 that are not, which I would do your research when you're getting into these industries. But pretty much all of them are on the rise, and they're growing because more people need these services and they're highly in demand. So again, I'm not going to tell you service businesses is the number 1 industry to get into, but I will tell you that these are great businesses. And specifically for those 6 reasons that I've mentioned, you also see that, everybody needs services. People will always need services done. And we have thousands of users succeeding in these businesses. I think they're very good businesses to start. And if you are looking to start one of these businesses, I would love to see you guys join our community and grow with everybody else.